Alfarrasi? Powered by fish and chips. Hello and welcome back to Hamster Running. So, race number 2 of the 2026 Circuit Vall Albaida, Alfarassi. And if Palomar was my triumphant return after a very long break, Alfarassi is me slightly crumpled, mildly out of breath and hoping nobody notices. Because between Palomar and Alfarassi, things haven't exactly gone to plan. It started with a cold. Not a dramatic, sympathy-generating, lie-on-the-sofa cold, just one of those persistent, low-grade, deeply irritating ones that turn up uninvited and refuse to leave. It behaved itself just long enough for Palomar and then settled in properly afterwards. The result? Missing the Saltamontes trail last Sunday. Now, full transparency, I had actually registered for the Saltamontes trail quite some time ago, and in the intervening period, frankly, had completely forgotten. My long-term memory at this point would probably embarrass a goldfish. It was Vero who reminded me at dinner, calmly, efficiently, slightly concerningly. In the end, we both had to pull out, she for sensible reasons, me for medical ones, and the wonderful Murchie, who was clearly designed for trail running, somehow ran the race and collected our race packs along the way. I've stopped questioning Murchie. Last year, Alfarassi was a warm spring evening. This year, the BBC weather app, consulted purely for reassurance of course, offered none. It said overcast, which translated means bring a raincoat. At this point, I'm fairly sure that the circuit and I have some sort of arrangement with the weather. What can possibly go wrong? Race day, or more accurately race evening, began damply. Brady, Carmen and I went for a gentle 5-kilometre warm-up run. Just the three of us, the rain, and a shared sense that we'd all be better off somewhere else. With outdoor plans defeated by the weather, Mrs. Hamster and I went shopping, which naturally led to lunch at the Ontenient Rastro. Now, pre-race nutrition is a serious business. Athletes plan for it meticulously. I had fish and chips, battered cod, chips, mushy peas, tartar sauce, the full experience. Not quite our usual favourite fishy, but respectable. Mrs. Hamster, who normally sticks to just the chips, watched with quiet approval and then tucked into her own. The afternoon brought further complications. The rain continued and my swimming pool, now more closely resembling a small village pond, demanded attention. So I cleaned it in the rain. By the end, I couldn't feel my fingers and was beginning to question my ability to tie shoelaces. Which neatly brings us to shoes. Alfarassi is all road, so trail shoes were out. Instead, I took the opportunity to test the Salomon gravel shoes ahead of the London Marathon. Would they work? Would the fish and chips hold up? Would I regain feeling in my hands? Only one way to find out. At 4 p.m. the rain stopped. Not sunshine exactly, but at least it was progress. I arrived in Alfarassi, parked up, wrestled briefly with the Salomon lacing system. Eventually, shoes on, ready to go. First impressions, comfortable, possibly a little snug, but okay. The children's races were already underway. One of the nicest things about these events. Families everywhere, kids racing, parents cheering, grandparents smiling. And overseeing it all, Juan, the race announcer, dressed as a pirate. I didn't ask why. Lots of familiar faces, Miguel, the running group, Carlos, whose UK race calendar is now dangerously close to mine, Cardiff, Edinburgh. Dresden was mentioned next year. We'll see. I also met a few viewers of the channel, always slightly surreal and very appreciated, even if my Spanish meant I understood only about 20% of what was said. Still, the vibe was excellent. I found Vero, caught up with Murchie, confirmed the race packs were waiting after the finish, efficient, organised, very Murchie, and headed for the start. The Pyrus got us going, thanked everyone involved, and we were off. The route was familiar, out past the industrial area, back through the village, then into the countryside. Within the first kilometre, the Salomons gave their verdict: comfortable, smooth, and surprisingly bouncy. For a gravel shoe on tarmac, that's promising. The race settled into a rhythm. These circuits can have a certain magic. Friendly, relaxed, even when people are overtaking you. Yes, quite a few people overtook me. But the hills, that's where I come alive. I passed plenty on the climbs, fully aware that they'd return the favour on the descents, which they did. The climb towards the village was tough, not brutal, but enough to remind you that you're working. Water stop, quick drink, and then Alfarassi ahead. Or so I thought. The route disagreed. Back out again, one more loop, one more climb, a handful of supporters, and then finally the village appeared for real. Through the narrow streets, right, left, downhill, and there was the pirate again, waiting for us at the finish. What a guy. I finished just under 55 minutes, not fast, not especially slow, about right considering the week. Cold, rain, poor maintenance, fish and chips. 24th out of 32 in my category. No podium worries. But I ran it, I enjoyed it, and the Salomons passed their first proper road test. Even better, there were still cakes available at the finish. Fantastic. I collected my bag and then Murchie appeared delivering the Salomon race packs like some kind of trail running courier service. Thanks, Murchie. Job done. Alfarassi done. Shoes tested. Fish and chips officially added to the race fuel list. Next up, Beniganim. 7.5 kilometres. Sounds manageable. until you remember the hill, one of the toughest of the circuit. I'm going in cautiously optimistic. The Salomons will be there, the legs, we'll see. I hope you'll be there too. If you've actually enjoyed watching me limp, laugh and occasionally triumph through these runs, please consider subscribing. It's totally free, supports the channel, and hopefully you won't miss any future episodes. By the way, I've recently started a new podcast that brings together remarkable runners with my personal take on recent developments in the world of long distance running. Check it out and let me know what you think. I'll see you at the next hamster running event.